Wait, no.
Hi, my name is Raven Davis. I'm from the Bahamas, and I chose a comic book called Batman the Long Halloween. This comic book is interesting because it relates to my project, which is based on duties of the prosecutor. So basically, we'll be looking into Harvey Dent, the district attorney of this comic book. And this comic book is basically about bringing down a crime lord called Carmine Falcon and finding out who is the serial killer called Holiday. So let's get into the first scene where you will see what the prosecutor does. Let's go, okay? In our 5 panels, Harvey Dent worked long hours searching for evidence against Carmine Falcon in the Billy case, whereas he gets locked away for good. Reading these panels left to right, the second panel shows where he searched through newspaper files, case files, to bill against this man. So to touch back on my project duties of the prosecutor, whereas the prosecutor must find enough evidence they can possibly get to bring down the bad guys. This shows that there are some good guys out there, and this district attorney, Harvey Dent, was one of those good guys to stop crime and the madness that is happening in his city. He worked long shifts, even though his assistant Vernon tried to persuade him to go home. He refused to because he knew what his job entails. Let's transition into the fourth panel where Vernon, his assistant, stressed to him how he'd been working late every night that week, which shows that Dan had some determination for what he does or is doing, basically what a prosecutor's supposed to be doing. So, Mother sick, that was funny. Okay, for real now. So in this next scene, you will see where all habits become a living, tables will turn, and frustration changes personalities. Not all good guys are good after all. Everyone has some bad in them. So let's just get into the next scene. I won't keep you guys too long. So let's go. Okay? 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 This way. Vengeance, frustration, and anger intrude the new Harvey Dent's mind, whereas he took matters into his own hands. Even as the person that brings forth peace, you have to get your hands dirty. This specific panel shows where Harvey Dent been through the worst and gave up halfway through. Harvey Dent had a hunch that Carmine Falcon was the Holiday, but because he couldn't prove it, months after months of obsessing, he gave up and took matters into his own hands. As you can see in this image, he shot Carmine Falcon twice to the head. As a prosecutor, you must represent local, state, or federal governments in criminal court cases. They are allowed to interview witnesses or victims, evaluate police reports, and perform legal searches. Harvey Dent went from working long nights, abiding by the law, to killing an innocent crime lord that was suspected to be a murderer. So in this comic book, I would say it was a great comic book. It was good. But like if you really ask yourself questions like who was the hero and who was the villain of this comic book, you'd be like totally lost because everyone played both sides except the person being accused of all these murders. Who they suspected to be Holiday really was not Holiday, it was really his son. So for Harvey Dent as district attorney to like play both sides. Like 1 minute he is good, he's in his office, trying to find files against this crime lord. 1 minute he in his office doing his thing, what he's supposed to do, and then the next minute he like switched over because of an incident that happened during the precinct. Like he basically disobeyed his role as a prosecutor. As a prosecutor, you're supposed to abide by the rules and instill the discipline in other people in your country or city. Like, you're supposed to make sure everyone is following the rules. You're supposed to make sure that you following protocol. But he literally, this man let aggression, because he obsessed over this one case for so long that aggression and anger and frustration got to him, which made him switch to the darker side and took matters into his own hands when he could have waited out more. When he could have waited it out more, like, people in your country or city would look up to you as the district attorney, because knowing a district attorney, they have the most say. Like, they tell whether someone goes to jail or not. So people will look up to you, but when they realize that, oh well, you playing both sides, because one minute you're good and then the next minute, because you couldn't find a solution to the certain case, you took matters into your own hands, they'll never trust you again. So this comic book was basically a good comic book. I liked it. It's just that some questions that I had wasn't clear and I didn't get no answers for. But thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my review.